Good evening to everyone. Welcome to this webinar series of World Accreditation Day 2020, which actually is being celebrated on 9th June. And in that regard, Consultants Consortium of India, Consultants Consortium of Chennai is celebrating this World Accreditation Day with series of webinar. Today is webinar number 15 and the topic is Supply Chain Management, Food Safety, Storage and Warehouse. And the presenter for today is Mr. Prem Kumar and co-presenter myself. I am Ram Kumar, Vice President of CCC. And about CCC, Consultants Consortium of Chennai is an association of management system consultants registered under the Tamil Nadu Societies Registration Act 1975. The key objective of CCC is to work in alignment with the National Quality Mission launched by the Government of India by educating the industry about the role and importance of standards, certifications and regulations in the country as well as in the global markets. CCC strives to encourage responsible consulting through members of its association, and focus is to standardize consulting practices in alignment with changing market and industry needs in a dynamic manner. The focus is also to identify areas and industries in which the consultants in the profession of management system consulting can contribute to the betterment of the society and the country, and to promote management systems consulting in such areas or industries. One of the core objectives is to collaborate with various industry platforms, trade associations, chambers of commerce, management associations, apex bodies of government or quasi-government organization to contribute to the betterment of the industry initiatives, which will in turn contribute to the betterment of the society. So next, about World Accreditation Day 2020. So next slide.
Sorry, it's okay.
World Accreditation Day is a global initiative established by ILAC and IAF. This year's theme is how accreditation improves food safety. Accreditation has an important role in food safety by ensuring competent and impartial inspection, certification and testing services in all parts of local, national and international food chains. In doing so, accreditation supports the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, in particular the Good Health and the Well-being Goal, SDG 3. Accreditation can be applied to a wide variety of assessment, approval or evaluation tasks and is used by business, government and regulators to help deliver a safer world. Next one. About training and capacity building division, this is a vertical in Quality Council of India, which predominantly focuses on training and capacity building and works with various government bodies like NABCB, NABL, NABH and NABA, NABET and NBQP. And sir, just press the button, sir. And the key training domains are quality management, various management systems, which comprises quality management and food safety and laboratories and healthcare, education and manufacturing, information technology, food processing, project management and environment. And Mr. Alok Jain, who is the director of TCB, is not present here, but normally he will be presenting this slide. And now I am handing over the session to today's presenter, Mr. Prem Kumar of Jayvin Consultants, to take up the webinar. Over to Mr. Prem Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Ram Kumar. Very good evening to all. Today I am the presenter for this session, Food Safety on Storage and Warehouse. Okay. I am the presenter. I am Prem Kumar. I am the Managing Director and Principal Consultant of the company Jayvin Management Systems and Solutions Private Limited. I am the qualified BRC evaluator in both food and packaging industries. I am having 16 years of industry experience as well as management system consultancy. We have across food, feed, packaging industries, automobile and engineering industries, and we across more than 500 clients in and around Asia. We have international assignments also. Yeah, this is small brief about me. I request Mr. Ram Kumar to introduce about himself as co-presenter.
Thank you, Mr. Prem. I'm Ram Kumar. I'm the co-presenter for today's webinar. I'm a life science graduate and a postgraduate in quality management and an MBA in HR. And I worked for Murugappa Group EID Parish Sugar Division for 21 years as a quality head. Then started on my own as a freelance consultant and trainer in food safety standards. I'm also a lead auditor in QMS, EMS, ISMS, and there is a exclusive sustainability standard with respect to sugar and sugarcane, which is called as Bonsucro. And I'm a lead auditor in Bonsucro, and I'm proud to be the vice president of Consultants Consortium of Chennai. So this is all about myself. Over to Prem Kumar.
Thank you, Mr. Ram Kumar. Yeah. Yes, objective of this 60-minute session is need to understand a concept of supply chain, role of storage and warehouse in supply chain management systems, what are all the challenges, methodologies to be followed in storage and warehouse relevant to food safety, storage and warehouse management, proactive approach. These are all the objectives we are making in this 60-minute session. Generally in supply chain management system, people focusing more on cost, delivery and quality aspects. Since it is directly impacting on the cost, management also focusing this as a business division as well as cost unit methodologies. But it is most important, it's a fact, it is a place to ensure the food safety in each and every aspect. That is the reason we have chosen this topic in CCC BAD. While we are talking about supply chain management system, it's inclusive of material management, testing, store, warehouse management, delivery, transport control, hygienic practices, all things to be together, all things to be considered. But in this our session, we are specifically focusing on storage and warehouse. So this discussion is mainly for food safety aspect, storage and warehouse as per the food safety aspect. Here we are not talking about the elaborate discussion on warehouse activities or materials management activities. This session is not on materials management. This session is mainly for food safety aspects. How this warehouse management contribute for food safety, how this warehouse is getting control and ensure the food safety of all the products. That is a discussion. Before entering the session, I have some of the obligation to participants. Please make separate discussion in the chat box. Please don't make any separate discussion in the chat box. It may spoil your focus. You may miss out some of the points in this. Okay. Whatever doubts in your in this discussion, please put it in the chat box. Mr. Ram Kumar sir will help you to answer. When it is not possible, I myself can answer in the end of session. Okay. Please unmute your mic always. It may disturb other concentration. Please help us by mute your mic. Okay. Sometimes it's getting unmute and we are getting some other disturbance. We may focus our concentration. Please help on this. Right. Let us discuss on food chain activities. Since this warehouse management coming as part as well as important role in food chain, we are discussing on food safety management system in warehouse also. Okay. When we are considering food chain, farm to fork, simply you can say sequence of the stages in the production, processing, distribution, storage and handling of the food ingredients from primary production to consumption. It's including It's including farming activities, feed processing, feed production, packaging material, cold storage, transporters, food caterers, restaurant and retail chain shops. In our discussion, we are focused more on this cold storage and warehouse management. Fine. You can see some of the food chain activities, thread manufacturers, gum manufacturers, pet bottle manufacturers, CO2 gas manufacturers, food serving aids, cap manufacturer, all are coming under this kind of food chain. Within this food chain, our warehouse also coming. Assume that my manufacturing industry is located in one area. Okay, their warehouse is located near to the city serving area, city retail area. Even that warehouse considered as a extent of manufacturing industries. Whatever the food safety aspects, whatever the food safety activities getting implemented in the manufacture may get disturbed in your warehouse. That is the reason warehouse also part of your manufacturing setup nowadays. Earlier, manufacturing house alone is considered as a major food safety aspect. Now, warehouse or extended warehouse, satellite warehouse, rented warehouse, third party warehouse, all things have to be considered as part of your food safety chain. Okay. Assume that one of the product, let's say milk dairy product, okay, ice cream, let us assume ice cream, and they want to distribute some of the local area. That is the reason they are rental some cold storage area and they are storing all the product. Unfortunately, that cold storage having methodology of or renting meat items also. So our product, ice cream product may get contaminated. That is the way this barrows making value addition in your food safety. Okay. Cross contamination activities. Fine. Spoilage of the food safety aspects got induced in your manufacturing areas. Fine. So now in food chain, warehouse management is having direct impact on the food safety aspects. Warehouse also need to go for the FSSA license. Legally it is getting controlled. In the time of product recall, legal activities getting included your warehouse also. So legally it is controlled, legally it is entitled with the food safety aspects. Now let us have a discussion on this supply chain management. Just I want to brief about this. It represents a conscious effort by the supply chain firms to develop and run supply chains in the most effective and efficient ways possible. Supply chain management, whenever we're using the language supply chain management, all are considering that service or product is getting outside to the manufacturing unit. Yes, it's true. But in terms of supply chain management, we need to ensure how this outside people contributing cost, delivery, and quality aspects, included food safety. That's for the supply chain management make efforts, make value addition on your product and organizations. And the definitions in commerce, supply chain management, the management of the flow of goods and services involves the movement and storage of raw materials, of work in process inventory, and of finished goods, as well as end-to-end order fulfilling from point of origin to point of consumption. Wherever we are getting the services, in terms of value addition to your food safety or quality, need to be considered as a part of your supply chain management. In supply chain management, we have major three categories. One is service providers, calibration services, product testing services, lab testing services, like training programs, machine maintenance, all is coming under service providers. Second one is material supplier, supply of packaging materials, raw materials, supply of your product ingredients, all are coming in the direct material suppliers. Third is outsourced process. Assume that I got one contract manufacturer. I'm sending some raw material for its manufacturing. Again, it is coming back to me as a partially finished goods. Again, it is going for some other process. Then you can may say themselves as a outsourced contractors. Okay. So in this supply chain management, we need to consider service providers, product supplier, and outsourced process. All three people coming into part of your supply chain management. Yeah. Coming to this diagram, you can see supply chain starting from your supplier, distributor, manufacturer, retailer, logistics, and consumer. This is a way happening in our food safety aspect. A typical supply chain management system given for FMCG products. Whenever we are telling this supply chain management, it talks from raw material, supplier, manufacturer, in between it may go to warehouse, then shipping and end user through retail chain management. Supply chain entities. We have various entities in supply chain. First is product. Things in demand at various facilities. I have medical product, okay, and assume that we are getting some COVID-19 medicine. I'm having demand at various places in India. I need to make proper supply chain management, including logistics in short durations. Okay, it's coming under product supply chain. Facilities, place where products are made, stored, sold, or consumed. Let us say housekeeping peoples. Vehicles, mechanism to move products between facilities to meet demand, and routes, path taken for vehicles to move products between facilities. These are all the supply chain entities. In our discussion, we are making supply chain as the supply chain management. When I'm talking the language management, it talks about more of the management oriented approach or systematic approach. In this, we should have some sort of planning, and we need to ensure the planning is getting achieved. Then we need to go for the continual improvement. Typical ISO 9000 approach or high level standard approach. Same kind of things we are implementing in these storage and distribution methodologies. Actually, in this, my whole discussion, I've referred the BRCGS storage and distribution standard. Based on that, I'm giving the information. Because BRCGS is this dedicated standard for your storage and distribution. BRCGS SND, we used to say SND, storage and distribution. Issue number 4 is having elaborate on these activities. We referred BRCGS standard for this whole discussion. So this becomes supply chain management. Rather than supply chain, you can see it's supply chain management system now based on this management system standard. So when we are going with the management, it talks material planning, procurement and integration, warehouse and fulfillment, distribution, repairs and returns or wastages. Coming to this storage and distribution, we are taking more on the products and facilities. We are taking supply chain entities, product and facilities. When we are talking about this vehicles and routes, it's called coming under logistics. So in our storage and distribution, we are talking on storage and warehouse. Fine. We are not talking much on distribution today. We are talking on storage and warehouse activities. Fine. Let us take this food supply chain. When you are talking about this food safety supply chain, we need to ensure how this product getting flow to consumer. It's starting from farm, then it is going for this manufacturing places or processing place, storage, whatever it can be. Then it is coming for packaging. From packaging, it is going for the distribution, transportation. Then it's coming to market. Then from the market, it is going for retail chain people. Then it's coming to our consumer end. Okay. So this food supply chain, we can't avoid. It has its various process steps. It has various value addition as well as cost addition in each and every process. That is the reason we our farmers not getting fair price for their product. That's what all our government industries trying to work for reducing or cost optimizing these supply chain management systems. Now you understand the importance of this supply chain. You can say more than 50 to 60 percentage of cost getting included on the commodity because of this food supply chain. As we are the re-engineering process or optimizing the process, we are trying to reduce the cost cutting in the supply chain. That's what all the corporate companies trying to work as direct supply on retail market. Now they are going out from distributor methodologies and straight away they are selling in the retail market. I can give you one example since it is in market. Kevin's Milk. Kevin's Milk is the first company has approached the market, direct distributing the product to retail outlet, milk, dairy and Italy. Okay, they try to make the product to the supplier and the retail outlet. They are trying to give more and optimized price. Consumer also happy with the price, and the other way they try to promote the product. Same kind of approach is happening in a lot of food chain companies now. A lot of corporate companies doing that. Fine. So in our food supply chain, cost addition is happening through these distribution and warehouse. Okay, when people's making effective warehouse system, they are trying to reduce the cost as well as traveling methodology also. That is the reason in food we are trying to make the product with more shelf life or best before date products. When we are trying to reduce or increase the shelf life of the product, we can go with the effective warehouse system. We can ensure the product is getting delivered to the consumer in effective manner. So that help to reduce the cost. That help to increase the price of the farmers also. Now we are getting approached direct selling vegetable and fruit commodity by farmer to the market. That's also happening by APIDA and as well as Tamil Nadu government. They have started a lot of cold storage in various places. All our farmers can supply the goods to this cold storage. From the cold storage, they are supplying to the entire place of Tamil Nadu. In that way, they are trying to give more price for the farmers. Okay. Now we need to understand store and warehouse. Okay, not storage, store and warehouse. Store and warehouse has its own differentiation. By purpose, both are same. Both are intent to store the material and distribute the material in proper manner, ensure proper inventory management system, ensure food safety aspects. But it has its own difference. Store and warehouse are two differently terminologies used in the manufacturing sector. Warehouse is a huge facility where finished goods are stored or raw material can be stored. A warehouse is found usually on the outskirts of the urban centers in order to assist in faster delivery of goods and services. Right. Generally, warehouse concept is came as satellite storage services or satellite storage methodology for the manufacturing sectors to make effective distribution of the material. Whenever we are talking about a store, it's a comparatively small facility and as compared to warehouse, usually inbuilt within the manufacturing facility. The role of your store is to assist in providing the raw material for the manufacturing process. A store many times also stores unfinished goods, spare parts, and regular daily need product, machine maintenance product, emergency items, all things that are for the purpose of manufacturing process. Okay. In this time, I want to give example of automotive storage facility. Uh, Whenever car companies assembling the product, they want to keep minimum 4 days stock. But as principle, they want to keep minimum 10 days stock, 10 days spare part stock in within their control. Okay. In that time, they're making the system in such a way, all the tier one suppliers have to maintain 5 days of stock, minimum 5 days of stock. Assembly unit having 4 days of stock, 4 plus 5, 9 days of stock. Tier 2 suppliers have to maintain at least 3 days of stock. So they're utilizing the supply chain management system and able to carry out more than 3 days of management system. more than 10 days of inventory. Okay, so this is the way the stores and warehouse control is happening. Fine. Yes. Uh, the stores and warehouse as a following component in food chain. Okay. Very first thing is farm to processor. Warehouse need from farm to processor. Um, in our country, we can say it's um, we can say government godown, government storage methodology from the farmer to get the material and storage it off. Yeah. Then we have primary processor to manufacturers. Let us say some godowns in Andhra Pradesh, famous for chili. Lot of places available for this chili cold storage and storage yard, warehouse, everything to manufacture. From that, all our manufacturers buying it off. Yeah. Then manufacture to offsite warehousing, warehousing to retail depots. Okay. Earlier days, we used to say these warehouses, C&F, clearing and forwarding agency. Um, Manufacturing company may locate some place. They want to distribute some of the area through this warehouse. They are not able to distribute the product each and every time from the manufacturing location. So they are having extended arm of warehouse or storage facility. From that, they are supplying to the retail depots. It is warehousing to retail depots. Then retail depots to storage. Some of the retail chain companies, they are having their own depot or warehouse in the near location, having more number of retail outlets. From there, they distribute product. That kind of warehouse is available. Then stores to final consumer. It is internet shopping or whatever we can say is retail outlets. All things coming under a warehouse. Right. Including your retail shop is also a part of storage and warehouse. Scope of the store and warehouse, including retail outlets, retail shops, everything is getting included. Fine. All are able to listen my talks? Please type yes in the chat box. I can understand what people are available in this. Simply can type yes. Yes, thank you. Okay. What are all the hazards to be considered in your storage and warehouse? This also taken from our BRGS standard. As usual, in HACCP, we need to consider physical, chemical, and biological hazards. Okay, but in warehouse, we need to consider two categorization of physical contamination. One is breakage condition or damages, physical damage have to be considered as a specific hazard. Physical damage, breakage, puncturing of packaging or water damage, all things coming under the damage. Okay. Another thing is regular physical contamination. It might be the glass contamination from broken lights, wood splinters from pallets, dust splashing during transfer, dust, all things considered as a regular physical contaminations. Fine. Then we need to consider allergenic materials. Since it is warehouse, when we are intent to storage n number of product in single storage condition, we need to be alert on this allergen. It may cause some cross contamination. And then we have microbial growth resulting from temperature abuse of product that require temperature control. Yeah. Cold storage, freezer, all things need to be get coming into temperature control. Some of the vegetable and fruit yard may need to monitor the humidification methodologies, humidification control. Another thing is always we need to maintain the positive pressure in our warehouse methodologies. That are also part of your microbial growth mechanism as a control mechanism. Yeah. So in our storage and warehouse, we need to consider all these hazardous as a measurable things. We need to make assessment.
Prem sir, this is Sai. I have a question here in this
Mr.
slide.
Paul, please type in your chat box. Okay. We can discuss in the end of the session if you don't mind.
Okay.
Fine. Our storage and warehouse having some of the components. It's starting from raw material storage and warehouse, packaging materials, batch processing materials, finished goods material, and CFF agents or distributors. Once we are coming at this storage and warehouse, we need to go with some principles. Define the requirement of warehouse, requirement of storage and warehouse, maintain traceability, determine product scope. Based on the product severity, we need to assess control measures. Then we need to optimize the requirements. These 4 steps need to be carried out for your storage and warehouse based on your storage place. It can be raw material, packaging material, back processing material, finished goods material, C&F agents that have to be considered along with these 4 steps. Now I'm taking example of fruits and vegetables as storage in warehouse. Okay, since all the people can be able to assess and think about the situation of fruits and vegetable warehouse. So all our discussion hereafter in this time onwards, we can consider fruits and vegetable warehouse, storage and warehouse as an example for all our discussion. Then it is easy for us to conclude the topic and conclude the requirement of the standard. So when we are coming to fruits and vegetables, okay, we have a lot of challenges. All are perishable goods. Okay, all are perishable master-oriented goods. It need huge amount of storage, n number of variety of products, imported products, risk-oriented product, contamination product, allergen product. Lot of things are there, so it needs a huge amount of storage. Then more varieties and SKU. Some of the warehouse may go for the packaging or bulk packing also, since they want to carry the goods in warehouse as categorization. They need to go with SKU mechanism. Then lot of possible for cross contamination or contamination. It's having hazards from farmer and transport. In the time of warehouse management, once it is not properly screened in the farmer end, it may affect other product. So we are getting possible hazards from farmer level and transport. It need more manpower to handle the goods. In the time of loading and unloading activities, we need to get more manpower. Once manpower reduced in the warehouse system, we need to go for a lot of personal hygiene system. But particularly in this COVID-19, we have very big challenge in fruits and vegetable warehouse system. Then most important is difficult in identification traceability. One of the biggest fruits and vegetable warehouse in Chennai have facing this issue. They are trying to go with barcode system. They are not able to implement properly. Identification traceability is a very big thing one. When they're getting the organic goods and the special variety of product from other area, it may start to mingle with other product. It may cause deficiency in identification traceability. Then it needs more housekeeping frequency, daily cleaning. It needs frequent hourly cleaning. It needs methodology for disposal of regular waste and what is vegetable waste. Disposal of waste is a very big problem in our warehouse. Then huge possibility in pest infestations. Since that moisture, then nature of these fruits and vegetables, it may attract more pests, particularly in this summer season. We may get more mangoes in this fruits and vegetable area. Then lot of flies may come. It may cause problem and contamination to other fruits. Then control that pest is a big challenge in this. Then some of the warehouse needs to go for the gradation. Okay, once it's simple storage and disposing, it has its own challenge. Once they are having the system for grading inside the place, assume that they're getting huge amount of tomato from farmer level, they want to grade and then want to store in warehouse, then it will become a big issue. Generally, some of the warehouse want to make gradation alone as support. Then cold storage maintenance. When they want to store some imported fruits, vegetables, it has its own challenge. Then vehicle control, daily vehicles coming and not going. Both vehicles need to check. Particularly this COVID-19 times, it's very difficult to control the vehicle, and it may cause even drivers will not cooperate to follow the hygiene rules. Wherever they want, they may go and contaminate the product. It's a very big challenge. Then personal items, as I told, when they're having huge loading and unloading people, it has its big challenge for control the personal hygiene for the staff members. So these are all the challenges we are having in fruits and vegetable storage and warehouse. So how to control, how to monitor and control this kind of hazard is the biggest question. That's for this whole discussion we are following this BRG is storage and distribution system. Fine. Let us talk about this management. When I'm talking this language, management talks more on a solution as well as approach of controlling this kind of challenges in warehouse. First, we need to consider location, perimeter, and surrounding site security is the most important. Okay. Let us take the same example of fruits and vegetables. If we get any of the near companies, the chemical oriented companies or bad odor oriented companies, it may affect the product also. So it may come into a site, it may spoil our what is nature of the product, then it may cause food hazards. Another thing is layout, product flow, and segregation of product intake, handling, storage, and dispatch areas. As I told, biggest challenge in fruits and vegetables is space constraint. Okay, we are having huge number of fruits and vegetables. It has its own control mechanism. It has its own product flow. So it needs some huge place. Though it's a huge place, we should have some proper layout. If it is not properly designed as per the required layout, it will cause a lot of problems. It may cause futuristic issues each and every day. Another thing is fabrication, product intake, handling, storage, and dispatch areas. Yeah, how we are maintaining that. Wherever we need to put a pest prevent control mechanism. Yeah, like air curtains, we need to put strip blinds. Then we need to provide pest-proof mesh for the entire windows. Where and all possible, we need to go with some pest control mechanism. All things need to be designed at the time of fabrication and the staff facilities. As I take the same example, fruits and vegetable warehouse, we have huge manpower for loading and unloading. In that case, time we are having staff facilities like a dusting area, hand wash, leg wash facility, toilet facilities. These are all the challenges. These all things have to be get controlled as part of your storage in warehouse. Once it is properly designed, then it helps us to prevent a lot of contamination as well as food safety issues in your warehouse activities. So again, it is got referred from BSJ storage distribution class. Then facility management of storage and warehouse. Equipment facilities. Again, I want to explain this concept with our fruits and vegetable warehouse. Equipment facilities. Generally, we used to go with plastic trays to prevent damages of the fruits and vegetables, and easy to handle, easy to maintain the facilities. Even people implementing constant bin, constant quantity, and constant place. All things getting implemented through equipment, proper metal handling equipments. Then it needs temperature control. It needs dehumidification methodologies, first in first out methodologies system through equipments. So these equipment facilities need to be designed based on your product. It is most important. Nowadays in FSSA, in the time of their system audit, they are insisting more on equipment facilities. Then maintenance, regular maintenance, it is inclusive of facility and machineries, and electrical and plumbing activities, water management activities, then calibration of the instruments, housekeeping and hygiene. It's the most important in our entire food safety aspects. We need to make proper cleaning schedule with proper cleaning aid with time boundary. And in my next slide, I will show some sort of cleaning schedule, as example of cleaning schedule. Then waste and waste disposal. It's most important. How we are handling the waste, how we are disposing the waste is the most important. Okay. Let us take about this fruits and vegetable area. We are getting lot of daily waste in terms of grading, in terms of disposing. Lot of waste we are getting. Collecting the waste is one big issue. Then how we are disposing that waste is another issue. Again, we need to make some wastage storage yard. From that yard, we need to dispose it off. That storage yard should not disturb our fresh products. So it's a very big challenge. Another thing is daily collection of waste material, perishable goods handling. So we are getting daily wastages. The daily wastage need to be collected and need to be get stored. And then pest control mechanism. In this pest control, it's mandatory for entire warehouse. Generally, we need to go with a risk-based approach on pest control. Any kind of warehouse have to be assessed by the qualified pest control person. Okay, based on this pest control person, we need to form the pest control schedule based on the pest availability. It may be the it may be the what is it may be the available pest, season, as well as dosage of chemicals and the trained peoples. Okay, so this whole system have to be maintained for your facility management. Let us show this on cleaning schedule. Okay, whenever making the cleaning schedule, we need to identify the place based on the risk. Then we need to analyze the frequency. This frequency is a common thing I given. Okay, then what all tool to be used, what all the cleaning chemical to be used, who is a responsible person. All things need to be considered in the time of designing a housekeeping schedule, fine, or cleaning schedule. But this cleaning schedule based on the risk-based approach. Generally, people making the cleaning schedule as per their own, it is not allowed. We need to call for some of the risk-based approach. That is the reason we are validating these cleaning activities with SWAB test. SWAB test is not the mechanism for ensuring particular facilities having microbes or not. It is a system for validating your cleaning schedule or cleaning methodologies. Fine. So we need to go with the cleaning schedule based on the risk-based approach as well as validation method. SWAB test validation, whatever you can go, but it should be get validated. Sorry. Now we discuss about the good operating practices of storage warehouse. This good storage and warehouse starting from receipt of goods. In the time of receiving the goods, we need to ensure the vehicle inspection. We need to ensure are we getting the goods with proper identification traceability. We need to ensure the quantity to maintain the inventory. Then we need to go with the proper product handling methodologies. Let us go with the same vegetable and fruits warehouse. Product handling is most important. In time of receive the goods, we need to assess the capacity of storage facility for unload the goods from the vehicle. It is most important. Another thing is we need to identify the place for its storage. Identified this place should be clean and neat for getting the new goods. Okay. Another thing is when we getting the received material, when we're getting the material from vehicle, we need to go with the identification. That identification should be traceable from your warehouse to consumer end. Okay. So this is a basic requirement in our storage and warehouse. Then we need to go with the environment control. New requirement is we need to monitor the microbiological condition of your ambient. We need to conduct the external lab test. We need to ensure your environment is free from hazardous. Another thing is possible physical and chemical contamination risk. Okay, some people may using tube light, glass tube lights, glass materials, what is unlaminated glass product. All things have to be get avoided. Regular pest control system, regular cobweb cleaning, all things have to be get ensured. Then we need to ensure the stock rotation, first in, first out, first expiry, first out. All things to be need carried out in our warehouse. Then product release, it's the most important. We need to ensure the shelf life of our product when it is getting released from the warehouse. Assume that I'm releasing the product, okay, to my retail outlet in the period of 10 days. Okay, if my product best before date is less than 10 days, it is not allowed to release product to retail markets. So we need to consider shelf life data, shelf life, shelf life for best before data, and legal requirements, then customer requirement, order sheet, everything need to be considered in time of product release. Fine. Again, it's got referred from BRC standard. Yeah. In our facilities, pet animals are not allowed. Okay, I've seen some of the warehouse securities that they're having dogs or pet animals to safeguard the facilities with their own friend, but it is not allowed any kind of pet animal inside the facilities. Some pest control, as we discussed, it's a very important thing. Risk-based control, pest control is important for us. It should be regular interval. We need to use the chemical which is allowable with given dosages. We need to use qualified trained personnel. Monitoring and inspect is mandatory. Then we need to go for the trend mechanism. Based on the trend chart, we can assess the season-based pest control mechanism. Fine. Loading and unloading vehicles, as I told you, it's mandatory in our warehouse mechanism. All this loading and unloading vehicle need to be inspected before it is getting entered in that unloading areas. Another thing is this kind of vehicles, when entering into a place, we need to ensure the legal requirements as well as FSS license of the farmer level or a person who supplied the material to this place. Then temperature monitoring, regular monitoring of the temperature monitoring of the warehouse is required. Always you need to maintain the temperature as per the given condition. It should not go beyond the temperature of 35 to 40 centigrade, whatever it can be. Depends upon the product. We need to assess that temperature control need to be maintained. Identification and traceability. Let us take this vegetable and fruits warehouse. Identification and traceability is a very big challenges. Sometimes we may get the little amount of quantity. Sometimes we may get the huge amount of quantity without traceability. Once we getting problem on a retail outlet, then it is very big difficult for us to go for the product recall in all the places. So identification and traceability need to be get assessed, have to be mock drilled. Fine, sir. This I'm completing my sessions. Fine. Now I'm going for this question and answer session. Mr. Soy.
Yes, sir.
Please tell me, sir.
Yeah. See here, when we are talking about the identification and traceability of the food products, particularly we were talking about the fruits and vegetables. Okay. So here, if I am wrong, please correct me.
Yes,
The shelf life based identification and traceability is the prime factor. What I feel. Am I right or wrong?
Absolutely, sir.
Because as we do in the metallic metals, see, if you take, for example, steel, there are variety of steels, but it will look like same. Unless you identify with some color code or tag, you cannot find out which is EN8, which is EN19, like that. But here, in fruits and vegetables, only the shelf life is the prime factor to supply a quality food product to the consumer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Another thing, this cleaning, you have shown a chart how to clean that warehouse, the pathway and all. Okay, that is in regular times. Considering the COVID, it seems it is not going to leave us for a little long, in a shorter time. So the COVID preparations also can be added into that cleaning chart also.
Absolutely, it is requiring, sir. Since last 5 to 6 sections, a lot of people covered this COVID-19 sessions. That is the reason we have not included in this presentation. It is mandatory and legal requirement. Okay.
Yeah.
About the legal requirement as per the government instructions, they're given a lot of standards and specific instruction on industry basis that we need to follow that. And that's the reason they're forcing us to reduce the number of employees in workstations. They are recommending some of the chemicals for warehouse industries, particularly for fruits and vegetables and what is the retail outlets, hospitality, catering industries. All are there given the specific instruction. Still, they are giving what all the chemicals need to be used. Even they are giving clear document to the hotel industry. What kind of document? What is the dosage have to be used for cleaning purposes?
Okay.
Because over dosage may cause some other issues.
Okay.
Chemical issues may happen. So that also it is instructed properly from the government. It is well circulated, well available in all the social medias and websites.
Okay.
It is instructed through FSSAI people also. Fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good presentation, sir.
Yes,
Prem sir, one more question Mr. Mohammed has asked.
Yes, sir.
He has asked about the local meat.
Okay. Local meat, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Actually, local meat is not requiring to make it in warehouse or storage, but it is going with his individual retail storage. Okay, sir. Like cold storage or some condition, they're using that. Fine. But in local meat, it's the biggest challenge is they need to go with the authorized slaughterhouse. Now it is most important. Now a lot of deviation is happening in this COVID-19 issues also. Slaughtering activities to be carried out only in licensed place. That is most important. Once it is coming or once it is making us industrial oriented slaughterhouse, they have their own mechanism and cleaning mechanism as per the COVID-19 issues. This big slaughterhouse companies got suspended for some of the duration because of COVID-19 issues. Now it is not allowed to run. In entire India, slaughterhouses is temporarily got, sorry for being suspended. It is stopped for some durations. Only local slaughterhouse alone is allowed. Yes, sir. Ram Kumar, sir, getting my voice?
Hello, Prem, this is Soumik from SGS.
Hi, sir, very good evening.
Good evening. It was a very good presentation, Prem. I was just trying to add one more thing. I am sure you have already covering the reference you are giving on the BRC. Also, I think we can do the ISO 22000 with the PRP of NT 8059 standard.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the area which gives a coverage of other part of the food chain, because BRC, I myself in SGS also we do, and myself also auditor for this, we know the standard of the BRC is vary from manufacturing standard on the food as well as storage as well as other section of the trader. Whereas in case of ISO, it can be covered for all part of the food chain with the same standard with the different PRPs. So NT 8059 for your presentation area also can be covered, and that also can be helpful for the people. Just wanted to add there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'll consider this. Sure. Ram Kumar, sir, any other questions, sir? Ram Kumar, sir?
Sir, no other questions. I think we can end up the session, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much for an informative presentation, Mr. Prem. I hope the participants really enjoyed this webinar. And tomorrow's webinar topic is online uh, on the e-commerce in food safety. So tomorrow's webinar will be at the same time, 5 p.m. tomorrow, and the meeting ID and the password will be the same. So please log in and participate actively like today. Active participation I request from every one of the participants for tomorrow's webinar. And thank you very much for all, and have a great evening. Thank you. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much to
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you so much for your valuable time in this presentation. Thank you, sir. Be safe. Thank you so much to all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.